Doc here for the ReadySetCrypto Premium Newsletter Market Update for Tuesday, October 16th. A little bit of follow-up on what I talked about yesterday regarding Bitcoin and this near-term 7,800 spot that we talked about yesterday. Sometimes it pays to look at the actual exchange. Remember, Bitcoin's traded all over the place. Now, we're used to this in the equities world where we have this arbitrage going on, right? So there, you can't have a stock trading at one exchange that's basically mispriced from another exchange because the ARB robots will jump into there in a heartbeat and make money on that. So everything ends up being flattened at the same price. Well, we don't have quite the same facilities in crypto yet. Now, I'm sure it'll come soon enough, but for right now, not quite. So this Bitcoin versus US dollar is on Bitfinex. But if I go over here and start typing in BTC, USD, and then pick a different exchange than Bitfinex. So Bitfinex is the current top of the list here, but I could pick Coinbase or I could pick Bitstamp. Let's pick Bitstamp. And oops, we've got a little bit different chart, don't we? So notice that we have a different chart. We have a trend line coming down here, but we don't have a higher high. We don't have that 7,800 higher high. We don't have that artifact. All we have is the same old going on here. So for some period of time, we had Bitcoin and Bitstamp trading at 6,800, and we had Bitcoin at Bitfinex trading at 7,800. So you can imagine that that's not going to stay that way for very long. So as you can see, not much going on here on Bitcoin. Now, let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum is showing something slightly different now. So we're playing connect the dots here. And what we have in Ethereum, even though we've got this massive volume going on the last couple of days, really what we have is a series of higher lows. So the recent move down created a nice higher low. Unfortunately, the bulls were not able to capitalize on that. So that just created another lower high. So we are consolidating. And the reason why we're consolidating is probably found at a different chart. So we're going to go over here to the weekly chart. And we're going to throw on the Chop and Bollingers and see if we can get an answer from this. And lo and behold, what we have is we have a weekly chart, which is in exhaustion. So this big swing down is in massive exhaustion right now. And so we have range expansion moving to range contraction. So this is why we have this. Now, the probabilities do favor the price breaking down to the downside from a triangle formation, which is in the middle of a primary swing like this, regardless if it's up. If it was an upswing, then it would more than likely break to the upside on here. A downswing, the probabilities do favor a break to the downside, but I've seen it go both ways. So watch. Okay, so let's go back to the daily chart. We are going to watch very carefully these trend lines. And we'll see whether or not the price either is going to break out above here and start printing new highs above 240, or we are going to lose it to the downside below about 190. And that will, either way, will confirm this. More than likely, though, based on the amount of exhaustion that we have, this will probably continue to trade within this triangle until it gets closer to the apex of this triangle. And that will be about ready for it to go at that point. Something else of note here today, we had 0x get listed on a major exchange. And so we're starting to see some movement from that one. Okay, so it's up some 15%. Still below a descending trend line. Still below a descending trend line. But we will watch for this to start making higher highs and higher lows above that, and we may consider an entry for our portfolio if that does occur. Otherwise, we can assume that this is, and if we go out to the weekly chart, we can see a bit more clarity here. Believe it or not, it is still in a weekly downtrend. So still lower highs, lower lows. This is likely to remain dominant until such time as that we get a reversal on the daily chart. Rule number 2 is reversals happen at the smaller time frames and probably get higher. So that would have to result from this. We'd have to have a reversal at the daily chart or smaller breaking above here, and that will start to make the next swing. So it's still got a ways to go before it's going to print a higher high on the weekly chart and reverse this downtrend. But what could happen before that is that we see the price pull down here, print a higher low, and then a higher high, and then we've got a reversal. So reversals need to occur on that weekly chart before we get too excited about adding to our portfolio. Looking at our screener for today, we have some of the usual suspects here, and I'm going to go back over to the daily chart. So we've got Aeron has been pretty strong lately in a consolidation. Obviously needs some work to go. Here's 0x shows up on there. Chainlink is on today, so Chainlink's been fairly strong lately. And there's Ripple. Ripple's been okay, and then there's Genesis Vision. So a lot of the same usual suspects are building these stealth rallies off of the bottom. Guys, you just get the feeling that with all this consolidation, we're going to have a massive move here sometime soon. And it's almost like we started to see the very beginning of that over the last couple of days with some of this shake and bake that we've seen. So can only get better from here. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.